Here is the 2025 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. This is a cool performance bagger that I've never had the opportunity to ride until now. Let's check it out. All right, so I'm here across the street today checking out some new Harley Davidsons. This here is the 2025 ST, the Lowrider ST that is. I just got done riding the Street Glide with the 117 in it. That was a really cool bike. So this guy here, I'm kind of excited to see what it's like having the HO motor in a smaller chassis and a softtail chassis, which I actually already know that I like. So this is a pretty neat experience. Before we get any further into the review, I want to say thank you to Chippewa Falls Harley Davidson for giving me this opportunity to come and ride some of their bikes. They are the Harley Davidson dealership in Chippewa Falls. Really good staff, friendly people, friendly owners. If you're in the market for a Harley, definitely check them out. They got a cool shop over there. They do some cool events. So, you know, they're competitors of ours, but gotta love them. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. And let's move on to the review. So I rode the Indian competitor to this bike a month or two ago. That is the Sport Chief RT, and I really like that. I already knew that I like the Sport Chief, so it's kind of cool that I'm given the opportunity now to take a test ride on the Harley version, which actually is what Indian built that bike to compete with. So this being the Lowrider ST, and the newer softtail chassis, it's a really neat bike. This has a 117 high output engine in it, and this guy here is completely stock. There's no add-ons or no nothing, so this is how you get it off the showroom floor. So this has a frame mounted fairing on it, a nice looking fairing, really cool design. We'll see how it does as far as wind protection here in a little bit. You got a inverted fork, so nice firm inverted fork up front. You got radial mounted brakes. You have dual rotor brake setup in the front, so that you should have ample stopping power and something like this. I mean, this is a performance style bagger, so you got to have that kind of stuff really to give you that performance feel, because this bike is really made for canyon carving and you know, some guys wheelie these things and do all sorts of crazy stuff. So having the good hardware up front is good. Saying that this is the new softtail chassis, so you know you have a monoshock design in the back, but then you also have the rear bags, which is a nice setup. One thing I'll say about these bags, this is really cool. Of course, they're lockable, but they also have this soft open thing, which is kind of a neat thing. Just an overall premium feel with this bike, which is something that Harley always has done a good job with. The other deal with this is, so you don't have, like Indian has their navigation screen and everything on their little 4-inch this display. This is still a traditional analog gauge setup. But you do have things like cruise control, you do have rider modes, and I will say, without having the screen, the way you switch your rider modes on this are actually really nice and intuitive. You have a button right where the turn signals are that allow you to go through the rider modes on the fly. It'll tell you on your screen what mode you're in. You also have your traction control button right at the flip of a switch right on your control layout. I mean, they make it simple for you, so that's a nice thing. It doesn't have to have a lot of flair. This bike is not about like fancy tech and all that stuff. This bike is about things that make it easy for you to enjoy and have those extra features that you want, like ride modes, like traction control. It's annoying if you got to go through a bunch of different things to get to them. It's nice the way that this is laid out. Other things with this guy, you know, it is a mid-control layout for as far as where your feet are placed, and I'm not generally into that. At my height, I feel a little bit cramped, so we'll see what this is like when I go out and ride it. But again, it's a performance bagger. This is really meant for handling, so I get why they do that. They want to have the mass of you kind of centralized so you have better control over the bike. Fit and finish of this thing at first glance seem really good. You know, that's traditional standard Harley stuff. This thing, it looks good. This blue is, man, I like this blue. I'm a sucker for blue. If you know anything about me, I love blue, and this blue is gorgeous. It has a perfect amount of flake, really nicely laid out paint work on this guy. That's something that Harley always does good, is their paint work. So let's really, I don't have much else to say about it. I mean, you know what this bike is if you're watching this, so let's take it out and ride it. I haven't ridden the new softtail in about 5 years, so we'll see what this guy's like. All right, we're back for another one here. Here's the 2025 Lowrider ST. You know, today I forgot my damn gloves. I have all that shit sitting over there. Forgot my gloves. Oh well. That's how life goes sometimes. Let's turn this guy on. Got the 360. All right, let's see what this guy's all about. Mid controls, you know, I'm not normally a mid control guy, so we'll see how that fits. So this thing is completely stock. So we are gonna take this guy out as a virgin and see what it's like. See, I mentioned in another video, my X3 sometimes stops recording. It just did it there. Now I'll restart it and it'll be fine. So I don't know why it does that. Anyway, let's take this guy out. So one of the first things that Luke told me is the way that you change modes on this, and it's super awesome. Because it's easy to do. There's just a touch of a button right there on your turn signal, and it gets you into the different ride modes, so you don't have to fumble through and hold a button down to get to a different menu or anything. So that's good. This also has cruise control, which you know what I like. Hit the mode button right there. That's how you switch it. Fork mounted fairing on this guy here, so you know, no adjustability or anything on there, but so far it feels pretty damn good. And we're not going all that fast, but we'll see what it does later once we kick up the speed. Now this bike is not one of their rentals. This is one of their what do you call it, this is a bike that they have for sale, so we're gonna treat it as such. I'll open this up 117 up a little bit, but we got to be nice to this guy, because this very well could be someone's future baby. All right, so first, very, you know, initial thoughts on this so far is, you know, I knew that this was a mid-control bike. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like that or not, and it's tolerable. And I say that because I do feel like my feet are up rather high even for a mid-control bike. So the Indian version of this guy, they give you forward controls, which I kind of prefer the comfort level of that. So if I were to own this, you know, I don't know. We'll see after a few miles what I think of it. The upper body part of it, though, this is pretty comfortable. I'm in a nice seating position as far as like cranking through corners and stuff. I just want to find a nice windy road somewhere and, you know, hit the corners with this thing the way it's laid out. Has a sporty feel to it, if you will. Okay, that 117 in this is kind of fun. That does not suck. That feels pretty good. We're just going to take a quick loop with this, because again, we're going to keep the mileage down on this guy and you know, see what it's all about on the twisties, a couple twisties that I find, and then we'll hit the highway and bring her back. So today has been a Harley Davidson test ride day for me. Earlier I rode the new Street Glide. I liked that. That was a good bike. Luke said, why don't you try this guy out too? Why don't you see what that ST is all about? I'm like, all right, we'll try it. And there's a common trend right now. Harley Davidson got their suspension figured out, because normally that bump back there sucks. on like older Harleys that we've taken in on trade and whatnot. So the stuff that I'm used to does not ride like this. Now, I have ridden a soft-tail chassis bike earlier. A few years ago, I test rode a new, at that time was a new Fat Boy with a 114, and I really liked it. That bike felt good. So, but it's been a while since I rode the new soft-tail chassis, so I don't remember what it feels like, and yeah, this feels nice. This bike in particular is different than the Fat Boy for sure. But it handles, you know, it's pretty nimble feeling. I actually wonder if I like the feel of the new Street Glide a little better, but I don't know yet. This is early on. Let's hit this guy at a little bit of speed. Okay, this laid us down nice. Brakes feel good. So one thing I noticed on the Street Glide that I just rode is, you know, I'm kind of a rear brake bias kind of guy, and I don't know if that's the off-road guy in me or what, but on that, I think that it had a linked brake system, because I couldn't really predict the braking on it that well. I would hit the rear brakes and all of a sudden it would just like come on strong. The brakes in this feel good. They have really good power, a nice bite up front, good initial bite, and it seems to hold. So this is a better braking machine than the Street Glide is as far as the way it feels. This does handle nice. It lays into the corners really good, so no complaints there. You know, a bike like this is it's a perfect bike if you want to go and do a day trip, or even if you want to do a little weekend trip. You got enough luggage for you, this capacity wise, to take some stuff. You know, this is more of a solo man's bike. I wouldn't, you know, the girlfriend or the wife is probably going to fill those bags up pretty quick, but if you wanted to go like where I live, go down to the Driftless, ride some fun roads, load up the bags, find a cool little hotel or Airbnb for the night, and then spend a couple days riding like the best part of the state as far as I'm concerned. This is a good bike to do that with, because you have the performance in the engine, you have the handling capability to have fun, you know. I mean, you can go out and buy a super sport style bike and do that, but it's so easy to do like super illegal stuff with those. This keeps you a little more honest and gives you all that fun factor. So, and I'm not even necessarily even talking like this particular bike. This one you can definitely do it with, but I'm saying this, just this, you know, this segment in general. So Lowrider ST you can do that with. You can still go and you know, look at how well balanced this thing is. Don't do this at home, you know, go to your neighbor's house, but riding with no hands, this bike is balanced well, it's set up good. I'm able to move it around the lane if I need to. I'm probably able to take corners if I really want to. So yeah, this is a good bike for tripping, you know, for doing a couple day trip or whatever, and for hitting the fun twisties. We'll let this car, good, he's turning the other way. We'll open her up a little bit. Like I said, we got to keep the miles down, because we don't want to run her hard, because this is going to be someone's baby here in the future. I must say traction control there. Yeah, not bad. 117. You know, this is the HO version. I was wrong when I was reviewing the Street Glide. I kept on saying that was the HO version. This is the HO version. And a little bit lighter weight bike. The power that 117 puts out, yeah, this is good. Wind protection wise, you know, I feel very neutral right here. This is like a nice pocket of air, right? I don't have any helmet buffeting, so I can wear a full face helmet and not hate my life, so that's good. The wind protection of this is definitely adequate. And on a hot day like today, I'm still getting enough to help cool me down. I can open up the vents on my helmet and you know, not want to die. So that's a good thing. And this looks cool. I like the style of this bike. I do. Not necessarily enough for me to buy one like this, but I can appreciate this style. I think it's a good looking bike, especially in this blue. This is a good color. And it has all the features that you really need, you know. Good power, acceleration, of course, is there, handling's there, braking is there, cruise control, which is a huge thing for me. The way my wrists are, I need that cruise. Has traction control. And so far, you know, I haven't gone too far yet, I've gone a few miles. I'm rather comfortable. You know, I'd throw an exhaust on this guy, make it sound a little healthier. And I'd be curious on what this feels like with a more forward control, because I don't mind the way it is otherwise. But with the way that these bars are in relation to the mid control, it's not that bad. It's not uncomfortable. I mean, hell, my freaking Triumph Bonneville bobber that I have is a mid control similar to this. And I've done some crazy, you know, for what that bike is. I've done 400-mile days and come back and rode the next day and been fine. This is suspended better than that. I think I can do more miles on this than I can on that Bonneville bobber for sure. And I got more luggage capacity. You know, they're different animals, they're different types of bikes, but I'm just comparing to what I got. And I think overall, even though it's a very similar seating position as that Triumph is, this is a little bit better. Seats definitely more comfortable. Seats nice and plush. The rear suspension on this is more than adequate. Front end on this guy feels good. I don't, you know, I'm not like diving anything crazy when I come up to a stop. So this is a good performance bagger. And there's traction control again. Yeah, you hit second gear and that traction control kicks in because she just wants to light up that tire. This is a fun bike. Yeah, this is fun. I never grew up on like sport bikes, right? Like I rode a few of them, but I don't have a ton of miles on them. I am not like a A-level road race rider kind of guy. You know, I don't have that background. But I can imagine like someone when they were younger that had sport bikes and now wants to have something that kind of gives them, you know, that fun factor for railing the corners and whatnot. But wants to have something that's definitely more livable, comfortable, and all around just, you know, a more fulfilling bike as far as it can do more things. This is a good option because you have a little bit of sportiness to it. It puts you in an aggressive position. You know, it's still pretty comfortable overall. But you can go out and carve up the corners and have fun. You know, this is a cool platform. This is a cool bike. So the elephant in the room, you know, I'm trying to be neutral with this because of what I do for a living. But what do I think of this compared to the Indian version? If you saw my Indian RT review, you know that I like that bike a lot, minus the damn audio system that they had. So, well, this is what I'll say. They're both excellent bikes. I think that what Indian is trying to do with the tech side of things is cool and is a good thing if they execute it the way they should. I don't think that right now that bike is executed to its full potential. The load up time on the screen is too long, and the fact that people are having issues getting the screen to pair with that speaker, that's not good. That's not a good experience. You know, this bike is intuitive. How do I change my modes? There it is right there. There's a mode button. How do I turn off traction control? There it is right there. There's a button for that. I don't have to wait for a screen to boot up. I don't have to hold something and wait a minute and a half for something to connect. It just, and I don't know what the hell's going on here, so I'm just going to wait because I lose if I go up against any of these cars. But you know, this is what motorcycling is. It has the stuff that you need. It's straightforward. It's right in front of you. I'm gonna go in front of this Volkswagen because I can right now. It handles nice. It brakes really good. I do think that the Brembos and the Indian are a little bit better overall. But I mean, this hits pretty much all the boxes. The fit and finish is Harley Davidson. It's top tier, you know. So you want a cool Harley bagger, performance bagger, check this thing out. The Chief is a good option for you as well. If you want something with a little bit more tech options on it, that Chief is a great option. I think the bags on the Harley are a little bit better. The fact that they're quick release bags, like, come on, Indian, what are you doing? Like, that's kind of a big deal. I think you can do that with a Harley. They're quick release. You can't with the Indian. I mean, you got the screen, you got the tech, you got the audio system, which is actually cool. It sounds good. I can't get on it because of this little F-150, but this 117 feels nice. You know, I think the 116 and 117 are pretty similar in power. I don't notice a huge difference there between those two engines. But what Harley's doing right now with their suspension and stuff, I think they got some good stuff going. There's a lot of videos out there saying, "Oh, Harley's struggling, Harley's struggling." Well, here's the truth of the matter, right? They are the top dog. They cannot, I mean, they can go up maybe if the market is there, but the market is changing, right? So all they can really do when they have all these new competitors come in is go down. All they can do is really lose market share. Indians coming in and taking market share from them, right? I'm trying to hit the brakes to kill my cruise. There we go. But that's all Indian can do is take a market share from them. So now you got two really good options. Indian's up and coming. You're taking some from Harley. Harley's still the top dog though. They still have this huge base of brand loyalists. You know, Harley's still doing good stuff. They're making a good product. Man, I'm trying to be really nice, aren't I? No, this is how I feel about it. This is how I truthfully feel about that. I mean, I don't work for a place that sells Harleys, but I'm a realist, you know. There's two good options out there in the world, and that means the consumer wins. I said it before, and I'll say it a lot more times because I strongly believe that, and I think it's the truth. Oh, by the way, on the highway, this thing's pretty good. That's why I went on the highways to tell you how it was, how the fairing was as far as wind protection. I'd say A+. Nice fairing design. This definitely blocks more wind for you than like the RT Sport Scout. Which one do I like better appearance-wise? I don't know. I think I like the fairing design of that Sport Scout a little bit better. But that's a preference thing. That's not a right or wrong answer. That's just a preference thing. Like I said earlier, I'm still wearing my Indian watch, guys. I'm not jumping ship. I'm just trying out different things. That's all it is trying out different things. These little S curves are fun, especially on a bike like this. That's what I mean, like, I'm not like MotoGP speeds, but I'm having a fun time with this thing, you know? It has the power to have fun. It has the capability of handling to have fun. It has good brakes, you know, for what this bike is. You can go out and have a blast, be able to carry some stuff with you, and, you know, what else do you want, really, you know? I got cruise control, so a guy like me that has carpal tunnel, I can give my wrist a break and I can continue on moving. Well, there it is, the 2025 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. So this is a bike that really hasn't been on my radar. Not necessarily my style of bike, but you know, I have fun on it. I had a lot of fun on this one. I have fun on any of them that are like this. So you know, it's pretty cool. 117 rocks. This is the HO version again on this. And you know, I didn't really run this thing too hard. It's this is a regular dealership bike. This is not one of their test ride ones, so I want to treat it with more respect than I normally would if it was a corporate bike, let's say. But you know, this is a well executed motorcycle. Everything that they have right now, I think the finish is always good. The execution is very well done. Comparing this to the Indian that I rode earlier, you know, I think that the brakes on this aren't as good as the Sport Chief, but they're still plenty powerful for what style bike this is and what this bike is aimed to do. Engine performance wise is excellent. It is really well suited, and this is just the base level trim, you know, with the HO in it, so you can always make it better. You can add some cams to this. You can add different air setups and of course exhaust systems. You know, this already has a 2-in-1 right from the factory, so I would say just make it a little bit louder, and you're golden, because I don't think it's lacking power by any means. I like the simplicity of all this. I mean, this bike is not, in my opinion, a bike like this doesn't need all the tech. You need to have a few key things. Cruise control. You need to have ride modes. And traction control is a nice feature, and it has all that, and it has all that. It's easily accessible for the rider. So I think they really understand what the essence of what this is supposed to be is, and they executed it rather well. So again, not a bike that is normally for me, but I'd love to put miles on one of these, especially in the fun roads down south of where we live. So great job on this. You know, this is fun. So if you're looking for something like this, definitely check this out. Really nice bike. Let's close it out with a couple things. They'll say it again. Thank you, Chippewa Falls Harley Davidson, for giving me a day of riding a few bikes that you guys have. I really appreciate it, helping the channel and helping give me a different perspective on what else is out there, and hopefully showing some of my viewers that may not look at this, giving them a perspective on what's out there. Again, good, healthy competition is always good. It just benefits the end user, the consumer, and you know, I can see Indians shooting for a big one here. This is a cool bike, so having competition in all the segments is a good thing. And if you guys got any questions on any other in-depth thoughts that I have on this, you know, let me know. Leave a comment below if you like what you're seeing. If you know, leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. I really appreciate the support, helping the channel grow. And you know what, if you don't like the fact that I rode a couple Harleys today, let me know too. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, in my opinion, I think that this is good. But if you disagree, let me know. I will at the very least hear you out. I shouldn't say it doesn't really matter to me. It kind of does, but I mean, I'll give you my reasons on why I disagree with that. But I do appreciate any input that I get on that. So anyway, as always, don't forget to enjoy the ride, and we'll see you in the next video.